First, I'd just like to make the point that we're very fortunate that His Majesty has allowed us to use Buckingham Palace for this event, and her bravery was inspirational, extraordinary. She received the George Cross. She would never accept any recognition for her special contribution without reminding us that she was the face of a much wider body of operations, made possible by a network of dedicated teams behind the scenes.
There's something almost otherworldly about trooping the color, the pounding of hooves, the sunlight bouncing off polished metals, flags whipping through the early summer air. It's not just a tradition, it's Britain on full display. But in 2025, during the King's official birthday celebrations, something unexpected stole the spotlight. Something royal insiders are still talking about. Princess Anne, ever the masterful rider, didn't just show up to control her horse noble. While surrounded by over 300 musicians, she delivered something else, a bold declaration that turned heads and rewrote expectations. In a move few saw coming, Catherine, the Princess of Wales, was named Marshal of the Monarch's honor. And this announcement didn't happen in a press release or quiet meeting. It came right in the middle of the Coldstream Guards performance, during a silent, solemn moment. This wasn't just pomp, it was power shifting, and whispers started flying behind palace walls. What really unfolded that June morning in London, and why are some calling it the beginning of a new chapter for the royal family? Let's walk through it, Tan. Yes, you'll want to stick around until the last sentence. Trooping the color isn't your average royal engagement. It's a yearly pageant stretching back more than 260 years. Every summer, it marks the reigning monarch's official birthday with choreographed military flair. On June 14, 2025, the Horse Guards parade in central London was packed to the brim. Over 1,400 troops, 400 musicians, and 200 horses filled the space, each scarlet uniform and tall bearskin hat painting a vivid canvas under clear skies. This year had extra meaning. The Coldstream Guards marked their 375th anniversary by parading their King's Colour, regimental standard presented to King Charles III himself. The energy was electric. Crowds lined the mall, cheering as the royal procession rolled out from Buckingham Palace. But beneath the ceremony, something deeper was unfolding. At 76, King Charles chose to ride in a carriage with Queen Camilla, a decision partly tied to his ongoing battle with cancer. It marked a clear shift. He had last ridden on horseback in 2023. That day, he rode Noble, a horse gifted by the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. But now, that responsibility fell to others. Prince William, Princess Anne, and Prince Edward saddled Uppy, their military attire shimmered gold thread, rows of decorations, polished boots. William, Colonel of the Welsh Guards, rode Derby, a horse once owned by the late Queen Elizabeth. His bearskin hat held the distinctive white hand-green plume. Anne, as always, radiated command. In her blues and royals uniform, she kept Noble, steady, even when the mare got jittery. Edward, Duke of Edinburgh, brought up the rear, calm and collected. Every inch the Colonel of the Scots Guards. Then came Catherine, dressed in a soft cream coat dress by Amelia Wickstead. She stepped out of her carriage alongside Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis. On her shoulder, the Irish Guards' brooch, subtle but meaningful. Most assumed this was a nod to her ceremonial title, but no one expected what was coming. If anyone in the royal family personifies resilience and horsemanship, it's an even. At 74, she rides with a skill few can match. And during this year's parade, that was clear again, as the band reached its loudest swell, and the clamor of 300 instruments echoed through the square. Noble began to fidget, but Anne barely flinched. She gave a quiet signal with the reins, straightened her posture, and regained full control. The crowd noticed she wasn't just riding, she was commanding. And then everything changed. During a pause in the proceedings, the Coldstream Guards halted to present their color. The music faded. A quiet fell over the square. King Charles, from inside his carriage, led a moment of reflection. It was a tribute to the victims of a recent air disaster, an Air India crash that claimed 241 lives, including 53 from Britain. Every royal wore a black armband in mourning. The gravity of the moment was impossible to ignore. It was in this silence that Anne rose in her stirrups. Her voice rang out. With unwavering clarity, Princess Anne turned toward the gathered soldiers and the millions watching live on BBC One, in front of His Majesty and the full household division. Her voice rang out. It is my privilege to name Catherine, Princess of Wales, as Marshal of the Monarch's honor. She will stand in for the crown during ceremonial tributes to our regiments. The crowd broke into thunderous applause, their cheers echoing through the mall. Catherine, standing beside King Charles on the dais, blinked with surprise. The sunlight danced across her ivory coat dress, catching her in a quiet moment of awe. From a nearby balcony, her children George, Charlotte, and Louis watched proudly. Little Louis, gap-toothed and grinning, dismounted with a confidence far beyond his years. He made his way across the grounds, stepping up beside his mother in a silent but powerful gesture of support. It was more than ceremonial. It was deeply personal, a sign of Catherine's steady resolve after publicly sharing her cancer recovery back in January 2025, just 5 months earlier. So what exactly is the role of Marshal of the Monarch's Honor? This newly created title for 2025 is no ordinary designation. It's a calculated, symbolic move, one that blends the weight of tradition with the clarity of modern royal messaging. As Marshal, Catherine now takes on the task of representing King Charles. During salutes to the regiments of the Household Division. This complements her ongoing service as Colonel of the Irish Guards. But with even greater visibility and responsibility, it's a powerful endorsement, one that signals the monarchy's growing trust in her ability to represent its values and maintain its ceremonial legacy. From the 375-year legacy of the Coldstream Guards to the fierce loyalty of the Irish Guards, Catherine now stands as a key figure between heritage and evolution. Insiders say the idea for the title came directly from Princess Anne, known for her no-nonsense mindset and deep respect for military tradition. Anne reportedly saw this as the perfect way to solidify Catherine's place in the king's restructured smaller monarchy, and it makes sense. Catherine's graceful return to royal duties, her quiet resilience through health struggles, and her steadfast presence as a mother and public figure, these made her a natural choice. But this bold move didn't go unnoticed inside palace walls. Reports from those close to the crown suggest Queen Camilla wasn't informed ahead of the announcement, and during the parade, her position in a following carriage not on the main platform sparked murmurs. To some, it appeared like a deliberate demotion, or at least a distancing. By the time the parade reached its final, most symbolic moments, all eyes were on Catherine. The Coldstream Guards lowered their color as they passed, a show of deep respect. Catherine stepped forward, her posture regal, her salute sharp. She moved with calm certainty, her coat billowing just slightly as she honored the passing troops. The onlookers roared in appreciation. And King Charles, dressed in red ceremonial dress, a mourning band on his arm, nodded slowly his approval. Clear. High on horseback, Prince William caught his wife's gaze. The glance was brief, but it spoke volumes. Pride, unity, partnership. For those watching closely, it was a defining image. Catherine, once viewed as the quiet royal, had stepped fully into a role of command. The final chapter of the day unfolded. Atop the iconic Buckingham Palace balcony, the royal family gathered for the annual RAF flypast, led once again by the Red Arrows. Now in their 61st year of service, Catherine stood center stage, framed by her 3 children. George, now 11, Charlotte, 10, and Louis, 7, were dressed in navy-inspired tones, subtle, coordinated, and elegant. Charlotte's outfit, in particular, echoed Catherine's pale, gentle nod to their shared grace. As jets streamed red, white, and blue trails across the sky, gasps rose from the watching crowds. But it wasn't the planes that held their attention. It was Catherine's wave, graceful, controlled, and somehow elevated. As Marshal of the Monarch's Honor, her presence now held a new kind of gravity. Not everything about trooping the color 2025 played out smoothly. The decision to assign Catherine this title without Camilla's input raised eyebrows. Royal analysts say this move was driven by Anne's deep faith in Catherine's leadership. Camilla, who has long balanced her public image with quiet diplomacy, was reportedly taken by surprise. Her position in a less visible carriage, and absence from the dais, only added to speculation. Still, for Catherine, the day marked the end of one chapter and the beginning of something far greater. Some saw it as a quiet shift in power. Insiders believe Princess Anne made her decision with intent, a symbolic message that the future of the crown lies with the younger generation, William, Catherine, and their children. But behind the elegance of the moment, Queen Camilla's exclusion from the planning raised eyebrows, hinting at deeper divides within the family. A contrast, perhaps, to the image of harmony presented on the balcony. Catherine's journey made this moment all the more poignant. Just 5 months after announcing she was in remission from cancer, her presence at Trooping the Color wasn't just symbolic, it was victorious. Her soft ivory ensemble by Amelia Wickstead paired with the late Queen Elizabeth's pearl drop earrings paid homage to royal heritage. But her new role as Marshal was all about looking ahead. Observers picked up on her subtle signals throughout the day. A warm hand on Charlotte's shoulder, a brief smile exchanged with William, signs of a woman stepping confidently into her place. Her children, too, played their roles with ease. Their color-coordinated outfits and cheerful waves captured hearts. Louis's trademark grin and Charlotte's composed presence reminded everyone that the future of the monarchy is already beginning to unfold. That at the center of it all was the quiet but powerful bond between Anne and Catherine. Princess Anne, often referred to as the royal family's most tireless member, has long offered quiet mentorship to Catherine, helping her navigate the maze of royal duty. Both women share a deep love for horses, a connection often overlooked by the public. While Catherine's equestrian skills aren't always in the spotlight, those close to the family know how capable she is. That shared passion has helped build a relationship that transcends royal protocol. So when Anne named Catherine Marshal of the Monarch's honor, it wasn't just a tactical move, it was deeply personal. In Catherine, Anne sees someone who mirrors her own unwavering dedication, a woman grounded, capable, and genuine. Their moment on parade, when Anne stepped forward to formally recognize Catherine, was moving. Catherine's eyes shimmered as she accepted the honor, a quiet show of emotion in an otherwise composed day. It struck a chord, reminding everyone that behind the pageantry are real people, connected by purpose and trust. Anne's decision to spotlight Catherine sent a powerful message about where the monarchy is headed, one built on stability, tradition, and emotional intelligence, just duty. As the Coldstream Guards marched with precise coordination, their colors flying high, the symbolism was hard to miss. This wasn't just another celebration. It was a landmark moment, a nod to history, yes, but also a push toward a more adaptable future. Catherine's role now goes far beyond appearances. Her appointment as Marshal of the Monarch's honor represents a real evolution within the royal household. She now serves as a direct ceremonial stand-in for King Charles, reinforcing her growing importance on the world stage. Her salute to the Coldstream Guards was confident and composed. Her presence at the center of the balcony, her children flanking her, was no accident. These moments marked a changing narrative, one in which empathy and resilience define royal leadership, once seen as a quiet, almost reserved figure navigating the intense pressures of royal life. Catherine has become something more, a modern leader for a modern monarchy. Her cancer diagnosis, her recovery, her ability to balance motherhood with public service all have deepened the public's respect for her. William, of course, remains heir to the throne. His image on horseback, leading as Colonel of the Welsh Guards, was a reminder of his steady rise. But Catherine's elevation places her beside him not just as a supportive partner, but as a key force shaping the next chapter of the monarchy's story. Together, their bond is becoming a cornerstone of what many are calling the new royal era. Their children George, Charlotte, and Louis are quietly stepping into the light. Their calm presence, polished behavior, and stylish unity all point toward years of preparation. Charlotte, especially, showed glimpses of future leadership, her bearing already echoing her mother's, and through it all, Anne's influence loomed. Large, her decades of loyal service, her mastery in the saddle, her sharp instincts, these shaped the tone of the day. By choosing Catherine to carry this new role forward, Anne didn't just elevate a princess, she charted a course for a monarchy, grounded in wisdom, loyalty, and forward thinking. Streamlined, purposeful, and increasingly in touch with the people it serves, this is the vision Princess Anne laid out with her decisive move. Her choice points to a royal family that honors tradition but isn't afraid to evolve, ensuring its relevance in a fast-changing world. The quiet tension surrounding Queen Camilla only adds fuel to the fire. Behind the rituals and rehearsals, it's still very much a story of people, of relationships, of shifting roles, of strategy. What we witnessed wasn't just was a pivot. As the colored trails of the red arrows dissolved above London, and the last spectators drifted from the mall, the real conversation had only just begun. Catherine's appointment as Marshal of the Monarch's honor sent shockwaves across the realm and beyond. What exactly does this new position mean for her, and what does it suggest about the future of the crown? Royal analysts are already forecasting significant changes. With this new title, Catherine is expected to take on broader ceremonial responsibilities, especially those tied to Britain's military traditions. She already holds the rank of Colonel in the Irish Guards, and has become a familiar face at major events. But as Marshal, she's now the primary figure in royal salutes, whether at national celebrations like the King's birthday, or solemn occasions like the cenotaph. Her salute to the Coldstream Guards was more than protocol. It was a signal, one that marked the beginning of her rise into a more commanding role within the monarchy. But Catherine's moment isn't happening in a vacuum. Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis are stepping into the royal spotlight. With growing confidence, at just 11, 10, and 7, they've already won over the public. Their matching navy on white outfits, their cheerful waves, and their calm presence told a bigger story, that of a royal household quietly preparing its next generation. Charlotte, especially, drew attention. Her composed posture and elegant demeanor felt familiar, clear reflection of her mother's grace. Under pressure, Prince George, poised and observant, is already being guided through high-profile appearances. And young Louis, with his wide grin and carefree charm, continues to bring a touch of relatability that grounds the family in the eyes of the public. These small moments, a shared smile, a confident wave, hint at the care with which William and Catherine are shaping their children's roles. Balancing duty with normalcy, privilege with responsibility, Camilla's role is under scrutiny. Her lower-profile presence during the parade and apparent exclusion from the martial announcement have sparked whispers about her status. Some believe this signals a strategic pivot toward the Wales's positioning William and Catherine as the clear future of the monarchy. Camilla, who's long walked a careful path through royal expectations, may now have to navigate a different dynamic, while some believe she quietly doubled down on her charitable work and support Charles behind the scenes. Others sense her influence may wane as the spotlight centers more firmly on the younger royals. Beyond the family dynamics, Catherine's new position speaks to a broader shift in the monarchy's public image. Princess Anne's long-envisioned plan for a leaner, more efficient institution is beginning to take shape. With Catherine stepping into this prominent role, the royal family gains a figure who combines compassion with consistency, a woman who's faced health battles publicly, yet returned to duty with strength and humility. Her story resonates. Just in the UK, but around the world. Could we soon see her representing the monarchy at international military events? Might she establish new traditions that blend old-world ceremony with modern presence? The potential is vast and royal watchers are paying close attention. For now, one image lingers. Catherine, standing tall as she saluted the Coldstream Guards, the sun catching the soft folds of her cream coat. Her expression calm, focused, grounded. It was a moment that said everything. Her transformation from a cautious, young royal to a commanding figure isn't just inspiring, it's redefining the monarchy's next chapter. And behind it all, Princess Anne, the steady hand, who saw in Catherine not just a successor, but a kindred spirit. The cheer of the crowd, William's proud glance, the unspoken trust between generations, together, they marked a turning point. Not just for Catherine, but for the crown itself. So tell us what stood out to you during Trooping the Color 2025. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and stick around for more untold stories from inside the royal fold.